duplicate rules or duplicate management. The duplicate management is very useful from the point that we should keep our database clean. We should not have duplicates in our database because that's just same data is there multiple times and it's just taking up more storage, nothing else. So we should try and avoid maximum duplicates in our system. There's still be some which would pass through, but we should keep our database as clean as possible. I've seen organizations where they have a specific team for data management which works very closely with you as administrators and try to keep the data clean within the system. That's their core job. This particular functionality, which is duplicate management, will actually help you and your database team to cleanse all the data and avoid new duplicate records coming into. So how helps you do that is, when you go to the favorite place setup and then you in home you search for duplicate, you would see this header called duplicate management, which is under data, and then you find matching rules, duplicate rules, and duplicate error logs. So we'll first pick matching rules and then we'll go to the duplicate rules as well. So what does matching rule say? So matching rule is basically how do I identify that this is actually a duplicate. So we have matching rules provided to us straight away from Salesforce for account, contact, and lead. These are by default inactive, which you can activate. So let's see what these matching rules are. Let's pick one for our account. So what does it say? It says account. The rule name is standard matching rule and the standard account matching rule. Right. So this way you can activate the matching rules for them, or you can create a new rule. So let's say I want to create a new rule on account object. And then I can give my rule name. So let's say call it training rule, and I can select the matching criteria here. So if the account name is matching exactly or fuzzy. Fuzzy is a very interesting way of searching, of identifying. So exact would be, so let's say if I talk about HSBC Bank, so then exact match should be the other record which should be this there. It should also be HSBC Bank with the exact spacing and everything. But if I say fuzzy, then the H, it could be H.S.B.C. and then space and bank, or it could be HSBC investments. So these kind of things, fuzzy logic help us find it. This is very useful because some people just type HSBC, some people type HSBC Bank, some people would type HSBC Delhi, HSBC London, HSBC New York. This is very helpful. Then you can also do match blank fields. Similarly, if it is active or inactive, you can do things like that here. Especially when you talk about country, if you do country, it has to be only have option of exact match here. This way it helps you find the matching rules for your records. By default, we have got a matching rule for account, contact, and lead. There should be an explanation of how it does the matching. So when you go to Salesforce help, it would show you how it does the matching. So match keys are basically the company and the city. So it would match Orange Sporting Company to Orange Sporty, City to San Francisco to San Fran, things like that. This is how it does the matching. And the matching criteria would be like on the account name, phone, billing street, zip code, and all of that. It would try to match as much as possible using the website as well. So this is a standard matching rule which is provided to us by Salesforce. So what you need to do is you just need to activate these matching rules to activate your duplicate management in Salesforce. So activated all three here, account, contact, and lead. And now I go to duplicate rules. So for standard rule for contact with duplicate leads. So let's activate that. So what it would do is, this is a standard rule which would identify contacts where there's a duplicate lead as well. So there's a lead with the same information and there's a contact as well. When you already have a contact, why do you need a lead? So that way it would help. So then what else we can do here? So the main object here is contact. It enforces sharing rules. So there are two options. When you click here, you can enforce sharing rules or you can bypass sharing rules. Now this is very important. Why? Because let's say you have two regions. Let's say Asia region, the other one is the Americas. And then within the Asia region, you have a set of users who don't have access to accounts and contacts of those of Americas region. And now if you bypass sharing rule, Then, for example, it's an hypothetical situation. It could be a possibility that there's a same person who the Americas team is also reaching and the Asia team is also reaching. And then they both have created a record for them. Let's say the Asia team has created that record first, but the Americas team cannot see it because of the sharing rules. But when they try to create that record, system throws an error because system knows, but the America team cannot see it. So then it would become a challenge for you, but still totally depends on the business requirement. But this is what the difference is, that when you bypass a sharing rule, then this duplicate rule will run in the system mode and it would see all the data. Right? When you say enforce sharing rule, then when an Americas user is trying to create a record, so it would only search in the pool which is available to the that particular user or the Americas user. Same way, Asia user is trying to create a record, it would only search in the pools for duplicate which is available to that user who's part of the Asian region. I hope it is clear now. So be very mindful of what security level you are selecting here. Then what action do you want to do? So action on create, do you want to allow or do you want to completely block? So by default it says allow. It would give that user an alert and also send you a report. Action on edit, it says it just allows a report. By default it says reporting, but you can select to alert as well and you can block it as well. So ideally you should block on create and allow on editing, but it totally depends on your decision, how on your business decision what it says. Alert text says use one of these records. You can modify this, or you can say something like duplicate record, we already have a similar record. Then matching rules, you would match it with leads, or you can select which object you want to match it, and then you can use which criteria you want to use. You want to use standard leads matching criteria, and then if you want to run a specific condition as well. So basically you can define that how this particular criteria should run for. So I can define a profile for which this particular duplicate management should definitely run for, or you can escape it as well. Specify the conditions a record must meet for the rule to run. So let's say I don't want to run it for the admin profile, so where the current user profile is not equal to system admin. So then it will not run for system admin user. Similarly, you can escape it, or you can make it available to certain users specifically. You can set the criteria here. I'm just taking it off. I want to run it for everybody. Click save. Generally, try and avoid to your profile in duplicate rules because it would help you at a later date. So now I have activated this rule. So what this rule would do, when I'm going to create a contact, it will try and find that contact in a lead and it will throw out an error. Let's go to sales app and select lead. Let's create a lead first with the same name, or we already have this lead. Let's try and create a contact with the same name. So the name is Bertha Boxer and the email is, I've just copied the email, and let's go to contact and let's try and create a lead here. So let's call it Bertha Boxer. Let me give the same email. Let's try and see. The moment you have done it, I haven't clicked save yet, but it already says this record looks like an existing record. Make sure to check for any potential duplicate record before saving, and it also gives me a link to review the duplicates. So here it shows me that it is already there. So boom, so that's how your duplicate records work. Now we have said in the duplicate rule to allow on create, right? So let's see what happens. If I click save, what will happen? It will still let me create. Here you see this option. It says we have found a potential duplicate of this contact and you can view a duplicate, and that is a lead. So what you can do is you can go and convert this lead and merge it with this contact. You can do that. Then let's say if I want to block it, so then what will happen? So let's go on, create a new contact with the same name. Let's call it Bertha. So it has already started giving me a pop-up that this looks like a potential duplicate, and it will show me that I want to avoid this alert and I want to click save. Now what will happen? You can't save this record because duplicate record already exists. To save, use a different information. So either I need to change the email address or the name. So let's say if I do test at example.com, then if I try and save it, it would let me save. So basically you have to change few information so that system thinks that it is a different one. But now it is saying we have found no potential duplicates of contact. So that way the user can still go through and try and save a duplicate record. So that's still possible, but you can, still try and minimize a lot of duplicates this way. We go back to this place and we see duplicate rules are running here, and then we can see duplicate error logs as well. So if there is an error while running a duplicate job, then it would show you all the errors here. So that's how you run your duplicate management. If you have any questions, you can join the QA session, which happens every Friday, and please drop in your comments, feedback, and any questions in the comment section, and I'll get back to you.